We welcome you to Seattle, Washington in the Pacific Northwest, where tonight the Astros and the Mariners play Game 2 of this three-game series from Safeco Field. Very comfortable night, a little hazy, as the newest member of the Astros pitching staff, Justin Verlander, will make his first start wearing the Astros gray tonight as he will face the Seattle Mariners. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Glad you could join us for what should be a very entertaining night of baseball. Blummer, no matter what, the Astros were going to make the postseason. But now you had a guy like Justin Verlander. What he can do and bring late in the season is quite something.
Yeah, we saw Dallas Keuchel go out there yesterday, pitch a great ball game, going deep in that, and giving that bullpen a little bit of help. Now it's Justin Verlander's team. What a nice guy to have follow up Dallas Keuchel.
He's been there, done that postseason, and late in the season, trying to make that push for the postseason. He has been really good late.
No, he's been great of late. The last 11 starts have been fantastic for him. But if you look at what he's done in September and October since 2011, the numbers are outstanding. The 24-11 record, yes, but the ERA well under 3 at 2.63. This guy's a competitor, and he was with the Detroit Tigers his entire career. He established himself as an elite pitcher. He has a Cy Young. He has an MVP. He's pitched in 16 postseason games. The reason he's here in Houston, the reason he agreed to be here in Houston is because he wants to get back there and establish himself again in the postseason.
Took him about 45 minutes, had to make a decision about whether he was leaving the organization that he knew since he was drafted 13 years ago out of Old Dominion. So it wasn't an easy call, but I think as time has gone on, he's appreciated that decision more and more. And with more on that, we'll send it down to Julia Morales about how things have changed in the Astros dugout and clubhouse. Julia?
Hey, Todd. Yeah, it started that night when the news came down and it started to get out on Twitter a little bit, but all these guys in this Astros uniform very pumped about it. So pumped that Carlos Correa is going to need a new controller for his video games as he threw it across the room with excitement. Josh Reddick tweeting along as the night went on. Just an emotional roller coaster for him. Very excited, of course, when it was finally confirmed. And for Lance McCullers Jr., who was just 12, 13 years old when Justin Verlander got started, he's been watching him really his entire career as well and looking up to a guy like JV, as he calls him. So when he walked into the clubhouse on Saturday, there was a presence. All that experience, just joined a very good starting rotation and a really, really good team. And you know, they opened him with big arms wide open, ready for him to come and be a part of this team and what they've done all season. But it's what Justin Verlander has done to make himself feel comfortable. As you guys were saying, this is a very new process for him. There were some nerves, some anxiety coming in, but now all excitement. He spent those first 3 games talking to his teammates, getting to know everyone. He spent most of Sunday's game with Brian McCann on the bench as they probably talked a lot of baseball and a lot of the game plan against the Mariners, but lots of smiles from Justin. He was cheering on Dallas Keuchel last night in the dugout. He's a part of the team, and if you didn't think so already, he was a part of the fantasy football draft that happened last night, all coming to fruition as he just joined the team on Saturday, even had the #1 overall pick in that fantasy football draft. So he's a part of this team and looking forward to making this start for the Houston Astros, guys.
Yeah, sure. Give the new guy the #1 overall pick. That's the way to welcome him, and thank you, Julia. Blummer, you had to deal with trades in your career, including in the middle of a season. Justin's probably going to feel a little different tonight, I would think.
Yeah, it's a little bit different than what I've experienced. There are guys that move around, but this was that major pickup that the Astros wanted to go out and do at the trade deadline. Think about him thinking at that trade deadline he was going to be the guy. It doesn't go through. Then he has another opportunity here at the end of August to come over here to the Houston Astros. So it's been a whirlwind. And again, these guys go through so much throughout the course of their careers on and off the field. The one place that they are comfortable is on that field doing what they were born to do.
We are minutes away from the first Houston Astros start for Justin Verlander after 380 as a member of the Tigers over the course of 13 seasons. It'll be Verlander and Ariel Miranda as the Astros and the Mariners will play the middle game of a 3-game series right around the corner. TNT Sportsnet is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Minutes away from the first pitch and starting lineups as Justin Verlander will make his Houston Astros debut, taking on the Seattle Mariners right around the corner. We are back in Seattle, Washington, Safeco Field, where the Mariners and the Astros will play the middle game of a three-game set. Astros winning last night 6-2. It is Justin Verlander Day, making his debut with the Houston Astros. First, the Astros starting lineup presented by Southwest Airlines. George Springer with those 31 home runs right at the top of the lineup, followed by Alex Bregman. He had the big hit last night, breaking a 2-2 tie with a double into right field. Jose Altuve in the 3 spot. Carlos Correa hitting cleanup. Yuli Gurriel playing first base after DHing yesterday. Marwin Gonzalez is in left. Carlos Beltran will DH. Brian McCann will catch Justin Verlander's first Astro start. And in center field will be Cameron Maybin.
On the mound for the Seattle Mariners is left-hander Ariel Miranda. He is the left-handed version of Mike Fiers. He leads the Seattle Mariners in starts. He will be making his 28th of the season today, but he tops the Seattle Mariners in those starts, and he is also leading the club in innings pitched with 150 and a third. But he's also a guy who has given up a lot of home runs, and 35 home runs. That is most in Major League Baseball, and we know that there is history between Ariel Miranda, the guy at the plate, and a couple other of these Astros who have taken him deep this season.
Yeah, George Springer has a little history with Ariel Miranda. He has 4 hits against Ariel. All 4 are home runs. 2 of them are leadoff home runs, 2 of his 9 this year. And the first pitch of the game misses outside for a ball. It's 1-0. 71 degrees tonight. Much cooler than we anticipated based on a little overcast. Ground ball towards third. 2 hops for Seager, and we are underway on a Tuesday night in Seattle with a ground out to third.
Time now for some pitch usage on Ariel Miranda, brought to you by AT&T. The fastball, he throws 58.5% of the time. He has given up the most home runs on that pitch. 23 bombs off the fastball. The split finger's been hit out 5 times. Has the occasional changeup at 16%, and that has been launched 7 times.
Alex Bregman will bat. Bregman up to 55 RBIs. After a 2 RBI performance yesterday, it was his only hit of the game, but it was by far the biggest hit in the Astros 6-2 win. mentioned, Miranda has given up a lot of home runs on the fastball. He lives up in the zone. Not afraid to throw that fastball high in the zone, sometimes try to elevate out of the zone to get hitters to chase, but it has been leaving the yard a number of times this year. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. We had some wildfires in the state of Washington throughout the day that created a kind of an unusual sky the entire afternoon and morning and into the evening as Miranda gets Bregman swinging. Threw him some soft stuff there at 1-1 and 1-2 and picks up his first strikeout.
And he did a couple of changeups. There was a slider. That was a split.
Here's the defense behind Ariel Miranda tonight. Ben Gamble gets a start in left field. Guillermo Heredia is in center. Mitch Haniger in right. Kyle Seager and Gene Segura left side of the infield. Yonder Alonso, the former A, starts at first base, and Robinson Cano alongside him. Mike Zunino starting his second straight game. Jose Altuve will bat with 2 outs and the bases cleared. Swings the first pitch and slices one towards the line and right. Playable. Haniger drifts over and makes the play for the final out. Ground out, strikeout, and fly out. Good start to the game for Ariel Miranda. Justin Verlander will take the mound when we come back. Astros failed the top half of the first, and on the mound for his Astros debut, wearing the familiar 35, is Justin Verlander.
Looks good in that navy blue and orange, if you ask me. He's pitched here in Seattle a couple times already this season. Back on 6/21, he had a no-hitter going into the 6th, so I think there might be a little bit of an intensity in Justin Verlander being in this uniform and pitching against the Seattle Mariners. But a beautiful sight for a lot of Houston fans who were hoping that they would make the adjustment in that rotation. And this is a big man in a big spot, and I know that he's anxious to throw that ball.
It was a relatively quick top half of the first inning, and although Justin would love to have the run support, I'm sure he was anxious to get out on the mound.
It almost seemed like the offense was anxious to get him out on that mound.
After 380 starts wearing the Old English D, his first pitch as an Astro is down to Gene Segura for ball 1. September 5th, 2017, Justin Verlander, at the age of 34, makes his first start in an Astros uniform. Ground ball on one big hop. Alex Bregman has it, and that's the way Verlander's career starts with Houston, a ground ball to third base. Here's how the Mariners and Scott Service have things lined up today. You saw Gene Segura ground out. Here's Yonder Alonso getting a start tonight. Did not play in yesterday's game. Robinson Cano at second base. Nelson Cruz, the DH, Kyle Seager at third. Mitch Haniger in right field. Ben Gamble gets the start in left. Mike Zunino behind the plate, and Guillermo Heredia is the center fielder. Verlander will face 4 left-hand hitters in that lineup, including Alonso and Cano back to back. Home plate umpire tonight is Ben May, calling balls and strikes.
Justin is 10-8 against the Seattle Mariners in his career with a 3.15 ERA.
Misses away 2-0. Mentioned 380 starts for the Tigers. He was the active leader for most starts with one team in his career. That now belongs to Felix Hernandez, as Verlander has made his first start with the Astros. I think Felix residing right here in Seattle with 372 starts with one team. Verlander, 13 years, all but one, has made at least 30 starts. He takes the ball every 5.
Yeah, I brought it up. I've only been doing this for about 5 years, and this is the first time I've had a pretty extensive stat sheet to go through as far as reviewing before this game. Justin Verlander is a veteran in every sense of the word, and an all-star and a Cy Young, and just brings a major amount of credibility to this Astros rotation and team.
Behind in the count, 3-1 to Alonso. Everybody was excited about the first start for Justin Verlander as he delivers a pitch that's fouled out of play. Long run for Bregman as he was in the shift, but it's going to be out of play.
You know, we just saw a shot of A.J. Hinch, Alonzo Powell, the assistant hitting coach, and I think it's really an interesting time for these guys. A.J. Hinch is a guy who's going to have to learn Justin Verlander. For so long, you've learned how to try and beat a guy. Now you have to learn how to manage him, how to compete with him.
Again, fouled away. I thought it was interesting also in that interview that Verlander did with Julia, how he said he went around to each guy and kind of found out what things they like when they're starting, how they like. He said, I'm a guy, when I start, I don't like to be bothered much. So he kind of put it out there. Hey, if you guys like to be talked to during your starts, that's good. Yep. Happy with. Just want to make sure I know how you like things. But personally, I'm pretty good when I start. 3-2 pitch is a ball, and Justin Verlander has issued his first walk, a 1-out walk to Yonder Alonso.
I think it's great that Justin Verlander has admitted that he is excited about this start. It's a new opportunity for him on a team that he is obviously feels that has not only playoff aspirations, but also World Series aspirations. And I think that went into a lot of the thought process for Justin Verlander coming over here. But you can see a little excited, wants to make an impact, and I don't care who you are. You get traded to a team, you want to prove that you belong.
Starts Cano off with a 96-mile-an-hour strike. It's 0-1.
It should be pretty easy for him to do that.
But you're right. It's just like anybody else, but especially for a guy who's only known one way to do things, one team, one organization. You know, a couple of different pitching coaches through the years, but he was used to being a Tiger all day, every day. And now he comes over, new teammates, new organization, making his first start. It's got to feel, as compared to an opening day, it's got to feel even more than opening day in some sense, because everything is kind of new. New catcher, Ryan McCann behind the plate.
Just another McCann.
Yeah, he had James up there in Detroit. McCann starting back-to-back nights after catching Dallas Keuchel last night.
Can't wait till Evan Gattis gets back and really mess with him.
Pitch is outside. It's 1-2. That will be an interesting moment. McCann and Gattis resembling each other. Evan beginning his rehab assignment tonight. Should see him back shortly. One-two pitch is down and in. It's 2-2.
It's pretty impressive, that slider, and I know that's something that he has credited the fact that he's been so good in the last 11 games. But it's been that slider. He's gotten the feel back for it, and he throws it hard. That's 87 miles an hour with that good sharp break, but it also has that depth going north and south that makes it tough to hit for left-handed hitters down and in.
Cano and Verlander have seen each other a bunch through the years. 53 plate appearances for Robbie Cano against Justin as he slices one foul. Neither pitcher nor batter has a huge advantage in the head-to-head matchups. Cano 13 for 50. 8 strikeouts in those 50 at-bats. Brian McCann, veteran, getting a chance to catch him. Just another McCann. James McCann caught Verlander 57 times. Brian McCann becomes the 17th catcher in Justin Verlander's career. Alex Avila caught Justin the most while with Detroit, 124 games. Hall of Famer Pudge Rodriguez the second most at 62. Cano keeps fouling back 2 strike pitches and has an extended count here against Verlander.
Early on, a consistent 97 miles an hour out of that right arm of Justin Verlander. See, he doesn't want to deviate because Cano has not caught up with it yet. Sometimes you get a guy that keeps fouling off that fastball. You try and throw something a little more off speed, and it ends up being right into the bat speed.
Another foul back. The battle continues. This is all veterans right here. Veteran on the mound, veteran catcher, veteran at the plate. Cat and mouse game. Heavy dose of fastballs. Cano keeps fouling them back with 2 strikes. May go breaking ball here. And he stays with it. Goes down and gets that breaking ball. Keeps the count 2-2. Pitch that Cano got a piece of, and now McCann and Verlander are going to go out and discuss this. 10 pitch at bat so far.
It's kind of cool.
We saw.
Well, Justin Verlander's seen a lot of these ABs over the years, the veteran, but I don't know. I just enjoy watching these 2 guys go at it. You can see that Robinson Cano is not going to let Verlander show him up here early on. He's going to battle.
And he finally got him. Verlander wins the 11-pitch battle with Robinson Cano with a strikeout. Justin Verlander's first strikeout as an Astro.
Power slider at 87 miles an hour. See that grip? Just buries it out of the hand and got the chase from Robinson Cano after fouling off some tough pitches.
Nobody has more strikeouts since 2005 than Justin Verlander. The King Felix 41 behind, and then CC Sabathia. Nelson Cruz the batter. Pitch misses, 1-0. Cruz with the American League high of 104 RBIs, also has a .283 average and 31 home runs. Verlander's strikeout per 9 ratio this year, the 3rd highest of his career. Last year was the 2nd highest. And in 2009, 10.09 strikeouts per 9 was his highest. But his last 2 seasons have been a higher strikeout percentage than anything else in his career but one.
Kind of feel it's a credit to the velocity coming back and health.
22 pitches in after the extended Robinson Cano AB. Now ahead of Nelson Cruz, 1-2. A one-out walk to Alonso. And as the season has gone along, that strikeout to walk ratio has gotten even better. On the ground towards Pregame. To second for the force out. And Justin Verlander with a shutout inning in his first start as an Astro. We head to the second scoreless. Fans can help raise much needed funds for Hurricane Harvey relief. Visit youcaring.com/Astros Harvey to donate today, or visit Astros.com for a link to our giving site. Orbit and the Astros visiting the RGB Convention Center. Excuse me, the GRB, George R. Brown, said it backwards. George R. Brown Convention Center in downtown Houston over the last homestand when they were home for just a short stay against the New York Mets. 3 games within the span of over 24 hours. And now out to the West Coast to start a 3-city, 11-day, 10-game road trip as Carlos Correa will lead things off. Correa's in an 0 for 7 right now. He's 1 for 8 since coming back from the DL. Had a base hit for an RBI in his first official at bat after a walk his first time up off the DL. Since then, looking for his first hit. Pitch misses outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Correa, Yuli Gurriel, and Marwin Gonzalez in the second inning against Ariel Miranda. I think for Verlander, it was kind of a exhale moment just to get through that first inning, as much of a veteran as he is. 381 starts now in the big leagues. Had to be a little bit of nerves and adrenaline going in that first inning. Correa down in the count, 1-2. Carlos coming in batting .315 with 20 home runs. Miranda with a 1-2-3 first inning. Only needed 8 pitches to get through inning 1. Two and two the count. Carlos missing 42 games with that thumb injury. Team went 20-22 without Correa in the lineup. Astros start tonight's play 84-53 as Correa pops one into shallow center. Out goes Segura. In comes Heredia. The center fielder calls off the infielder. And there's one out in the second. With the 5-game winning streak, the Astros finally getting back to 500 since the All-Star break. They were 60-29 at the break. 31 games over, and that's where they start tonight's play. Their high water marker this season, a couple of times they were 34 games over 500. Here's Yuli Gurriel. Gurriel takes a called strike. Yuli hitting a home run in yesterday's game, got the scoring started for the Astros. Yuli hit his 16th home run of the year, a solo shot in the 5th. 1-1 the count. Astros winning behind 7 2/3 innings of strong baseball from Dallas Keuchel. Scored a couple in the 5th and then 4 in the 7th to win that game 6-2. 2-1 the count to Yuli Gurriel. High strike. It's 2-2. Bounces up there.
You showed the graphic earlier with the 58.5% fastballs from Ariel Miranda. He has given up a lot of home runs on that pitch. Here early on, it looks as if he's going to the off speed early. Fastballs kind of in that middle section, then going to the split with 2 strikes.
High in the air to right center field. Haniger is there. And Miranda has retired the first 5 Astros he has faced.
That was a 3-2 split to Yuli. Just something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, he loves that splitter with 2 strikes. Almost 64% of the time he will throw that split. As you can see ahead 42% of the time. Especially 2 strikes. He gets the majority of his strikeouts with that splitter. Now he'll face Marwin Gonzalez. 6 of his 38 career starts have come against the Astros. He has seen the Astros a lot, and vice versa, as Marwin in a little bit of agony as he fouls one off his foot.
First pitch slider.
Doesn't throw that slider very often.
No, it really doesn't. On the season, Stats has it at 4% of the time. That one's squarely off that top part of the ankle on Marwin, if not the shin. That dog is barking. Figured that was only fitting because it's.
Oh, bark at the park.
Thanks, man.
Sorry, left you hanging.
Dang
on it. I'm
Yep.
so
I
locked in.
don't get the assist on that one.
So locked into Verlander Day and all this stuff. I missed your bark in the park reference.
There we go.
Our first pitch had a canine involved. There you go.
Big day.
Scott Behringer, the assistant athletic trainer, checking on Marwin. Everything good. So Marwin back in there with an 0-1 count. And Marwin doesn't like that call. So this at bat not fun for Marwin. Fouls one off his ankle, and now he feels like he got a strike called on that should have been a ball.
It's almost like Ben May just kicked him right in the shin.
Now Marwin has to get aggressive. 0-2. Does a good job there of laying off. It's 1-2. Marwin in a 3-game stretch where he's 6 for 13, has that batting average up close to 300 again. He's at 296. High, 2-2.
Elevated slider, heavy on the off speed on Marwin. Marwin's got his hands back up again. Right-handed, he's really made the adjustments with the hands up, down, trying to find out where he's going to be comfortable. A couple right-handed knocks that last brief homestand.
Lays off a down and in pitch. It's 3-2. Good battling at bat for Marwin here after getting down 0-2. You saw Carlos Beltran on deck, back in the lineup after some tightness in his shoulder area. Also fouled a pitch, or got hit by a pitch in that last homestand against the Mets. Called third strike outside corner, and the Astros go down 1-2-3. Second strikeout for Miranda as we'll head to the bottom of the second.
Bottom of the second, and Astros pitching coach Brent Strom, like everyone else on this club, getting to know his new pitcher in Justin Verlander. And Stromy, like other pitching coaches, have held pitching clinics every offseason. And Stromy told me that when he teaches delivery, he uses guys like Clayton Kershaw, Zach Greinke, Robert Clemens, and Justin Verlander. He said because of the synchronization and the timing of his delivery, his front arm extension is timed up with the front leg extension, and then the back arm and the back leg have the same angle. So one part of the body working with the other part when it's done with proper timing. It's very efficient, and Stromy called it beautiful. But he has the mentality to go with the mechanics, guys. That's what makes this guy so special.
Yeah, pretty cool that Stromy got to use Verlander as an example through the years, and now he gets to be his pitching coach. Stromy just became a better pitching coach when Verlander was traded over.
Yeah, instead of being just Justin Verlander, now it's going to be my guy, Justin Verlander, when he explains to people about pitching.
0-2 the count. Everything has been so positive, so energetic, so different with the additions of Cameron Maven and Justin Verlander. And this was already a good team, a fun-loving team, a tight team. But these two guys have come in and just blended in so well. And just the uplift that this clubhouse feels since the acquisitions is really remarkable.
We had Jeff Luhnow in the booth before we left Minute Maid, and he said that, you know, there were conversations and ways to find out if these guys are going to fit in, because he understood he had a good clubhouse and these guys are going to mix right in.
McCann has a difficult time on that pop-up in the shift. Nobody got there.
Did he just pirouette?
A little dancing bear move.
Yeah, that father of four girls. I'll enlighten you on some of these dance moves. That was special.
Pirouette by McCann.
Yeah. It's a tough night here. We talked about the wildfires blowing in the smoke, and there we go. Nothing like a 360 to make your new pitcher feel comfortable.
That was exciting.
Got it surrounded.
The last thing Brian McCann wants to do in his first start catching Justin Verlander is not catch a pop-up. So even if he has to, it was more than a 360. It was about a 540. I think he went around 1.5 times.
I wonder if he's friends with Tony Hawk.
So nice job by McCann. As Seager pops up to Brian. The problem was Bregman was way over in the shift in deep shortstop. Gurriel was deep at first base, so McCann had no help from any of his infielders. Verlander wasn't going to catch it coming off the mound, so it was all Brian McCann on a tough chance. And it's 0-2 on Mitch Haniger.
Wonder if A.J. Hinch, who is good friends with Brad Ausmus out there in Detroit, if he had a chance to talk to Brad a little bit, it'd be an interesting conversation to see how much info BA gave on Justin Verlander and dealing with him and his new acquisition. I'm hoping that AJ called Brad and just said thank you. First off,
we appreciate it. Swing and a miss. Haniger goes down. That's 2 strikeouts for Verlander and 2 outs in the second.
Now we've got time to play, and it's going to be brought to you by Toyota. 2011 was a special season for Justin Verlander. Yeah, I guess 24-5 is pretty special. The 2.40 ERA, no-hitter up there in Toronto. That was an interesting game to watch just because he went out there, was rather moderate early on in the mid-90s. Later in the game, more pitches he threw, the harder he started to throw, and really put away those Toronto Blue Jay hitters in a tough ballpark to pitch at, period, yet he no-hit them.
Fun to watch highlights. We're going to have plenty of them throughout Verlander's final starts of 2017, and then I'm sure we'll roll through those in 18 and 19 as well as he faces Ben Gamel. Justin Verlander, a part of the Astros, we know, at least through this season and the next 2, and the Tigers really trying to make moves to get younger. So if Brad Ausmus and A.J. Hinch did have a chance to chat, possibly Brad asked A.J. about some of the young guys coming over.
Too.
Yeah. And Justin said he kind of saw that coming, not necessarily that he would be traded, but he thought it was more of a possibility once Justin Upton was moved to the Angels. Kind of a linchpin to other things happening possibly that day, and sure enough, Justin was able to agree to waive that no trade clause as a 5 and 10 guy. 10 years in the big leagues, 5 with the same team, and so the Astros ended up with Verlander. There is the first hit of the game. Ben Gamel heading towards second. He will hold up there with a double. Ball gets away momentarily, but Gamel cannot advance. So Verlander allows his first hit, a double to Ben Gamel.
A little bit cleaner than the last time he was here in Seattle. Fastball elevated out over the plate. Gamel does a good job not trying to get too big, shoots it in that left center field gap. And remember, Marwin Gonzalez out there in left field just fouled one off his foot. Letting Cameron Maybin go over there and make that play.
A little cleaner in that it wasn't a bunt single.
Yes.
Here's Mike Zunino.
Thanks for picking up on that reference.
Zunino has been hitting the ball better as the season has gone along. Overall hitting .239. Check Gamble at second. He gets back in. Last 20 games, Zunino hitting .344. Move that average up. .97 and a swing and a miss. We've seen 96s, 97 from Verlander, showing solid velocity in his first start with the Astros, coming in averaging over 95 miles an hour on the fastball. Showed you that graphic earlier, highest in 6 years for Justin. This is up and away. It's 1-1. Couple of strikeouts, couple of ground outs, a pop up, double and a walk. That's how Verlander has gone through the first 7 batters. Now ahead of Zunino, 1-2.
Up and in. Well out of the zone on our MD Anderson strike zone. But Zunino sits fastball a lot.
It was the exact same spot Zunino swung at the first pitch and missed. That one elevated, but Zunino doesn't chase. It's 2-2. Verlander will throw a lot of pitches in every start. He is consistently around 110 per start. A little lower than that on the average, but he goes above 110 quite often on the season.
2 starts against the Mariners this season. April 27th, he threw 119, and then June 21st, he threw 110.
Call, third strike. Zunino thought it was high. Ben May thought it was a strike, and Verlander has his 3rd strikeout, and he threw 2 in a scoreless game.
For today's Chevy Stroh Poll. You can vote in our Stroh Poll by following us at ATT Sports SW. We asked you today, how do you feel about the Justin Verlander trade compared with the Randy Johnson trade in 1998? Are you more excited now, more excited back then? Or is it about the same? I've already seen tweets about this. Make sure to tweet us what you think. We'll tell you who wins a little bit later in the broadcast. TK?
All right, Julia. You heard Kevin Eschenfelder say on the pregame show, for him it felt very similar. Randy Johnson was acquired at the end of July, so he had another month to pitch for the Astros that year.
He's our resident Astro historian, so you got to take his word for it, and I believe it too.
But there is a level of excitement here that is probably comparable to the Randy Johnson trade. For some people might be a little more exciting. For others, not as much. That's our Stroh Poll tonight. Here's Carlos Beltran leading off. Carlos missed the entire Mets series at Minute Maid Park and also missed the first game of this series. Coming back facing the left-hander Ariel Miranda, who has sent down the first 6 Astros he has seen tonight. This is inside to Beltran. It's 1-1.
Yeah, Carlos only missed that series in the sense that he wasn't on the field. We saw him pretty active down on that coach's end of the bench with iPads, talking to some of the guys.
Yeah, if he ever needs a resume for what it's going to look like when he's the coach of a team, if he wants to get back into baseball as a coach.
Yeah, if that's his desire, yeah, he definitely this year he's done both, player and helping out some of these kids in this clubhouse for the Houston Astros.
He will have a lot of references from this year with the Astros. It's now 2-2. Carlos has been better this year as a lefty than a righty, facing the lefty Ariel Miranda tonight. Beltran hitting 191 as a right-handed hitter with one of his 14 home runs. Zunino a look. Mentioned the Astros start the day 31 games over 500. Against right-hand starters, they are 67-32, 35 games over. And against lefties, they are 17-21, 4 games under 500. On the ground, foul.
Nice stop.
Good fielders here at Safeco Field.
Except in the seats, that last foul ball literally squared a dude up on top of the head, bounced straight up.
And he's still there?
Yep, still hanging tight.
This time people should watch.
This is your chance.
Where's the net?
Oh.
That one I would have gone for.
This is incredible.
Yesterday I bailed out on a line drive.
Yeah, you sent me into a panic because I wasn't watching the field. You got me on that one.
All of a sudden, Ariel Miranda is behind the mound and everybody is coming to look at him, including the trainer.
It's not good.
Through that last pitch, has been cruising along and retiring the first 6 batters. Mike Zunino started out to the mound, and before he even got there, Scott Service, the training staff.
Look back at that last pitch and the delivery from Ariel Miranda, kind of falling off awkwardly. But he didn't even take the throw back after the foul ball. He's shaking out that right ankle. That would be the landing leg.
Zunino ready for the return throw when Miranda was in some pain behind the mound, and then they came out to look at him. We'll take a few warm-up tosses here with a count of 2-2 to Carlos Beltran.
Couldn't really see that landing foot from that angle. Something uncomfortable about it. Can't be the way the Astros have been swinging the bat off, and they're having a tough time anticipating what he's bringing. That landing leg kind of gave out a little bit on him, slipped.
28-year-old lefty will stay in this game. If you are Scott Service or the pitching coach Mel Stottlemyre, you'll be watching closely to make sure his mechanics don't change. Last thing you want to see is something around the ankle impacting how he delivers the baseball. As you can see, he has spread it around on the zone to Carlos Beltran in our MD Anderson strike zone. Carlos hanging tough with a 2-2 count. And we'll see another pitch. It'll be pitch number 9 in this AB.
Shook it off pretty good, throwing a 93-mile-an-hour heater on the outer portion of the plate to get the foul tip from Carlos Beltran.
Well, Beltran with his first at bat in 5 days, putting up a good battle here. And the count's full. You will see a 10th pitch in this at bat. Beltran does have 2 home runs against Miranda in his career. All 4. Beltran down in the count, comes back to draw a walk. He's the first base runner of the game for the Astros. Don't forget, it is a Tuesday. In addition to everything else, Justin Verlander Day, Mark at the Park, it is a Twitter Tuesday. So here's what you do. You can tweet the booth. Use the hashtag Stros Tuesday. Your thoughts on the Justin Verlander trade. Where does it rate in Astros history? Send that to @ATT Sportsnet SW. You can also send it to one of our individual Twitter handles. Real Todd Callis, Blummer27, Julia Morales. Here's Brian McCann. By the way, I'm closing in on 20,000 followers.
Oh, step it up. Julia got over 50.
She just crossed 50. You're over 25.
I'm a work in progress.
I think that's strong. That's a strong. The fact that I'm just getting to 20, I'm excited about.
And you've got more than Springer.
Yes, with 0. George, if he started tomorrow, would have more than me, but
yeah,
right
he'd
now,
blow the doors off all of us instantly.
There's a foul ball back. It's 0-2.
Twitterless Springer.
But yeah, Julia's up to 50-something thousand.
Yep, she carries us.
As always. McCann down to the count, 0-2 on Miranda. Ryan with a home run in yesterday's game. Also drew a couple of walks. He's been on base 3 consecutive times, hitting his 14th home run of the year. Allen on 3 pitches to Miranda there, so that's 3 strikeouts for Ariel. 1 in every inning, and there's 1 out in the 3rd. That'll bring up Cameron Maybin. Maybin starting both games of this series. Also started the final game against the Mets. Since he's been an Astro, he has started in 4 of the 5 games. Jake Marisnick continues to come back from a groin injury. We may see Jake tomorrow, or certainly by the weekend series against the Oakland A's. Maybin takes a call strike. It's 1-1. Of Maybin's 2 hits as an Astro, one of them a home run, a 3-run home run. Hit that deep to left at Minute Maid Park. Down and in, it's 2-1.
Way to go, Todd.
What happened?
You just set off a wildfire on my Twitter account. People are, needless to say, very excited about Justin Verlander being an Astro.
Twitter Tuesday.
Yeah.
That is a company-wide, broadcast team-wide event.
Well, I hope you blow up at real Todd Callis, too.
Why me?
I don't know. You do the real work on here. I have the time to try and catch up with these people, but they are extremely excited about it.
3-1. Ball 4. I don't blame them. I remember how excited I was when I found out the news. And it's just one of those times in a season. Here are the Astros, best record in the American League since Memorial.
He's not excited.
Since Memorial Day. No, Scott Service would rather Verlander still be a Tiger. Since Memorial Day, best record in the American League. And now all of a sudden, not only are you getting Carlos Correa and Lance McCullers Jr. back, but boom, Justin Verlander's coming.
And unlike the Randy Johnson trade, this is not a rental. He's an Astro for the next couple of years. That's the great part about it, and that's what people are very excited about. There you go.
Yeah, it's got a lot of similarities. The Randy Johnson trade was rumored at the time that Johnson was going to pitch his final few games as a Mariner, so it wasn't quite a shock that Johnson was going to be traded that year back in 1998. But
well, how many chances do you have to make a real impact? I mean, these are impact trades.
And you're getting guys with longevity who have multi All-Stars appearance. You have Cy Young Award winner in Verlander, MVP, Rookie of the Year. In addition to his Cy Young, also finished second a couple of times and was very close last year. In fact, a lot of people, some in the audience today, really felt like he should have won it. His fiancee Kate Upton in particular.
She's kind of biased, though, isn't she?
Yeah, I think she's got a definite lean towards Verlander's best interest. It's 2-1 to count to George. A couple of walks in this inning, both coming after Ariel Miranda had his ankle looked at. Kate Upton in the house today, wearing the Astros hat right away. Boom.
Love it.
The old English D is gone, and the Houston Astros cap is ready to go. All of a sudden, Miranda can't find the zone block.
Yeah, a couple of walks in this inning. I'd like to see him make a mistake out over the plate. George already has 4 bombs against Ariel Miranda. He feels comfortable in there. But if he could get himself a hanging fastball right now and help out Justin's cause by putting some runs on the board, that would be a beautiful thing.
Beltran on second, Maben on first. It's been an all true outcome inning, a walk, strikeout, and walk. George could add the other component of that true outcome with a home run here. 4 hits, 4 home runs against Miranda. All 4. Bases are loaded, all via the walk, and now he'll get a visit from Mel Stottlemyre with 1 out in the inning. You wonder if that ankle's bothering him at all.
Well, I was just going to say that's going to probably be the first question. Is that ankle bothering you? Because it seems to be messing with your release point.
He was lights out the first 6 batters. Robbie Cano will kind of serve as a little bit of a translator here as Miranda, Stottlemyre, Cano all converge on the mound. But 3 walks and a strikeout in the inning. And now Alex Bregman will bat. Bregman's first home run of the season did not come until a series against the Yankees in May at Yankee Stadium on Jeter retirement day. It was a grand slam on May 14th. Batting here against a guy who has allowed more home runs than anybody else in the major leagues, tied with Rick Porcello with 35. Delivers a strike to Bregman. It's 0-1.
It's a good guy to have up. Discipline, no panic. Got a big hit yesterday, driving in a couple of runs.
The way he's swinging the bat right now, he's not afraid to get down in the count. He is swinging with confidence. Although that time he takes another pitch on the inner half. It's 0-2.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, Ariel Miranda stopped messing around with the off-speed pitches and coming straight with the heat. First 2 pitches. So far, a pretty good visit from Stottlemyre.
Very good visit. Beltran, Maben, and Springer on the bases. Bounces in there. It's 1-2. Astros still do not have a hit in this game, but looking for a base hit and a couple of runs here from Alex Bregman. Maben with excellent speed on second. Ball is hooked deep to left field towards the corner. This ball is just foul. Just foul. Bregman missing a grand slam by just a few feet.
Man, he waited as long as humanly possible in that situation and almost got himself an extra base hit, extra RBI type swing out of that split, darting down and in. Alex does a good job of waiting back, recognizing, and just dropping the head on it. Just a little too much hook on that. Wow.
Bullpen action for the Mariners in the 3rd inning without allowing a hit so far for Miranda. Upstairs, 2-2.
Good job by Alex. Pitch count escalating here pretty quickly for Ariel Miranda.
With bullpen action going, he must have relayed the fact that he may not be 100% comfortable. It is a little unusual, even though he has walked 3, to see a arm movement in the bullpen this early. Yes, there are expanded rosters. It's the 3rd inning of a scoreless game. 2-2 pitch, and in the air to right field. Well hit. Haniger back towards the corner. He's going to get there. Tagging and scoring easily will be Beltran. All 3 runners advance 90 feet. And the Astros lead 1-0 on the sacrifice fly off the bat of Alex Bregman.
Quality AB by Alex. If it wasn't for a pretty good play by Mitch Haniger out there in right field, he might have been running around for a little bit, but Astros on the board. Not an easy play going into that right field corner.
Yesterday in a big spot in a 4-2 game, Jose Altuve was walked with a base open to get to Carlos Correa. Here they will pitch to Altuve with second and third and 2 outs. The situation yesterday was with 1 out. They were able to get Correa, and then Josh Reddick came through with a base hit. 1-0 to Altuve. Altuve flied to right his first time up, looking for his first hit in this series. He was 0 for 4 yesterday with that intentional walk.
I would say
2-0. Miranda, 28-year-old, 7 years in the Cuban National Series. He and Yuli Gurriel have crossed paths through the years. On the ground towards third, Seager has it and makes the throw across to get Altuve for the final out. Astros score first. It's 1-0.
Share to Care raffle for the remainder of the season to the American Red Cross and their Houston relief efforts for hurricane victims. You can also go to youcaring.com/AstrosHarvey to contribute yourself.
On we go to the bottom half of the third inning. Justin Verlander will work with a lead for the first time. Verlander facing the number 9 hitter, Guillermo Heredia. His first 2 innings as an Astro, he's allowed 1 walk and 1 double. Pitch misses outside to Heredia. It's 1-0. Last 11 starts, 2 best pitchers in the American League have been this guy and Corey Kluber. They have almost identical numbers during that stretch. Fly ball, left center field. Maben is there. Cameron puts it away for out number 1. A little reuniting with Cameron Maben and Justin Verlander as well.
A couple of guys grew up together in baseball. Detroit organization through the minor leagues.
You can tell where Maben is just by not even staring at it. His shoes stand out so much more than the rest of the team.
Yeah, those are bright. Under these LED lights here at Safeco Field, got a little extra pop to them.
Yeah, they are bright. Those are kicks that you could see from the football stadium across the way. He really can go get them in center field. That's why George Springer moving over to right. The Astros really have 3 center fielders now. I mean, Maben, Springer, Jake Marisnick.
Josh Reddick has played some center field. Derek Fisher's played some center field. They've got some guys that can go out there and cover it. Verlander's a fly ball pitcher. He's not Dallas Keuchel in the sense where he's going to get 60% of those outs on ground balls. That's a good spot for him to get the fastball called.
And he is hearing it from Scott Service in the Mariners dugout.
That is a downward plane out of the 6'5" right hand of Justin Verlander.
At the knees on our side view.
Yeah, if you're a hitter and you're facing a guy like Justin Verlander, you don't want anything given to him.
On the ground towards Altuve. Segura retired for out number 2. With Mike Byers now going to the bullpen with the additions of both Justin Verlander and Lance McCullers Jr., there's a chance the Astros will not have anybody that pitches as many as 162 innings, which is what you need to qualify. Not only does Verlander qualify, consistently he's a 200 inning a season guy. From 2007 through this year, all but 1 year he's gone at least 200 innings. That 1 year was the 1 year he had the injury in 2015.
You know, by the way, he's the reigning strikeout king in the American League. Had 254 last year, sitting at 179, according to my scorebook.
Right tricep strain had him out of commission in 2015. Other than that, 30 starts, 200 innings, just like a metronome. 1-0 pitch is outside.
Good pitch.
2-0 the count to Alonso. Alonso walked his first time up.
High Velocity Stat is going to be presented to you by Xfinity. Heard Tom talking about some of those injuries right in the middle of 2014-15, and the velocity dropped quite a bit from where he was at 2010, but this has been a big year for him in the sense that he's gained a couple miles an hour on that fastball, really helping him out. That in combination with the already good curveball and now the power slider that he has, start racking up some strikeouts again. That's got to be a good sign for fans at home who like this trade. See those numbers and that velocity trending in the right direction.
Strikeouts also the last couple of years are up. There's a ball hit hard over Altuve's head, in between second and right, despite the shift, as Yonder Alonso has a base hit with 2 outs.
First hit off Justin Verlander for Yonder Alonso. Got a fastball that he can handle.
That's hard to do. Hit it in between Altuve and Springer in that shift.
Yeah, but if you've got that U.S. Open top hand bullet going your way, you can get it over.
Here's Robbie Cano. Cano and Verlander, quite a matchup the first time. An 11-pitch plate appearance. Cano eventually struck out. That fastball at the knees at 96 for a strike.
That pitch to Yonder Alonso came in at 96 miles an hour, left at 103.
It was hit so hard, even if you're a second baseman deep in the shift, you don't have time to do anything but wait a split second and try and time your leap.
Yeah, you'd like to be able to maybe drop step and create a little bit of better angle.
Oh, 1 pitch is a line drive past Bregman into left field. So back-to-back base hits by the Mariners. Alonso and Cano. They're on with 2 outs.
Meat of the order for the Seattle Mariners. Not done yet. Brian McCann out there having a conversation. Might be mixing up signs with the runner now at second base. or it might be a little bit of a conversation just to give Justin Verlander a chance to breathe a little bit. Last 2 pitches he's given up hits on have been elevated in the zone.
Verlander will now face Nelson Cruz. Cruz bouncing to a fielder's choice his first time up. That slider, Justin throwing that slider more this year than ever in his career. Gone away a little more from that changeup than we've seen in the past. Curveball still very much in play. On the ground, Altuve has it to his left, and Verlander is through 3 with a 1-0 lead. We head to the 4th. Have developed a Houston Strong t-shirt with net proceeds benefiting the American Red Cross and Houston relief efforts. These shirts are currently available at the team store in the stadium at Minute Maid Park or available online at MLBshop.com.
It's a big hat. It's funny.
You have to get a big hat.
Oh, I'd love to have a big hat.
That's one of my favorite lines all year. Astros fans here in Seattle hanging out.
Plenty of orange.
Comfortable night as it turns out. Not as warm as we initially thought.
Yeah, they were expecting a little bit of a burner up here in the Northwest.
I think that cloud cover, the haze all day long over the city of Seattle and really throughout the state of Washington kind of kept things cooler. 71 at game time. Very comfortable as Carlos Correa will face Ariel Miranda to start the 4th. Takes a strike of the knees. It's 0-1. A little change up to start.
Yep.
Correa flied to center his first time up. Astros scored a run in the last inning without the benefit of a hit. 3 walks and a sac fly. Alex Pregame driving in the run with a sacrifice fly.
Why do you bring that up, Todd?
It's a little unusual to have more runs than hits.
That one run being more than the hits the Astros have. We can say it, can't we?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a no-hitter.
3 innings in.
Yeah.
1-2 the count with a pitch count of 57 before the inning started. Slowly tapped towards the mound. Quickly on it is Zunino to make the play on Correa. Nice play by the M's catcher for out number 1.
Good job bouncing out from behind home plate. Mike Zunino. Another off-speed pitch.
I'll bring up Yuli Gurriel. Yuli flied out to right his first time up. Ball jumped off his bat yesterday in a few ABs.
He's a high velocity, high exit velocity guy. Averaging over 95 miles an hour off that barrel. Showed it yesterday coming back from a little bit of a knee injury where he took some time off. Base hit and a home run.
Astros facing Miranda for the 5th time this year. He had one outing where he went 7 1/3. The other 3 have been less than 6 innings. 1-2 the count on Gurriel. Yuli does have a home run against his fellow countryman. Staying alive at 1-2.
Pattern might be off speed down, fastballs up and away.
Not many pitches seen when Yuli's at the plate. This is a little longer at bat than normal.
By a good 3 pitches.
Seems like he's been working better counts in the second half than the first half. He's actually drawn a few walks.
Thought it was great that 2 games where he got back-to-back games with a walk in it. The surprise in your voice on that second day was pretty impressive.
That was when he was wearing the El Yuli jersey.
Yeah.
In Anaheim. Unusual for Gurriel to draw walks in general, but especially back-to-back. Swings often and hits the ball hard often. 2-2 the count against Miranda. Throws him on a breaking ball. Gurriel goes down looking. Strikeout number 4 for Miranda. Again, 1 per inning. That streak continues.
Well, Miranda, for a guy who only throws his slider 4% of the time throughout the course of the season, is showing a very good slider here. He's got it down in the zone, couple of foul balls on it. But you're locking guys up. That's not a pitcher going into a game looking for against Ariel Miranda.
Marwin Gonzalez, the batter. Marwin takes one in on the corner. Marwin struck out looking his first time up. Miranda not a big strikeout per inning guy, although he has been better as the season has moved along. In his 4 starts against the Astros, most strikeouts he's picked up is 5 in those 4 starts this year. Has 4 tonight. Two and 1 the count. Over 18 pitches per inning so far for a guy who is not allowed to hit. 3 and 1. Miranda had an efficient first inning, needing only 8 pitches, but since then the Astros have been putting some good at-bats together, even though they haven't found a way to pick up a hit. Haven't raised that pitch count, and now it's 3-2 on Marwin.
Well, a changeup and a 3-1 count. Miranda showing all kinds of confidence in the off-speed pitches. Another one.
Down and in. Marwin took a close one. Good take by Gonzalez. He's a 2-out base runner. 4th walk issued by Miranda.
League leaders are presented to you by Houston Methodist. Lowest whiff percentage this season. All 3 of these ball clubs are playoff contenders. The Astros, amazingly enough, amongst league leaders in slugging percentage, home runs, doubles, all the big numbers, yet they're leading the league in lowest whiff percentage. This is a phenomenal stat to see the Astros making that adjustment over the offseason with one of the additions, much like Carlos Beltran. Guys that are going to go out there, put together great ABs, and force the issue by making a lot of contact.
All the acquisitions this offseason were high contact guys. Beltran, McCann, Reddick, Aoki. All guys that put the ball in play. Beltran with a significant at bat his first time up, drawing a walk on 10 pitches after getting down in the count.
Did Aoki stay with the Mets, or is he still in Houston?
Because the Astros are not back home for 10 days.
Did he went with them?
No, he's waiting
he's
to see.
He's just hanging out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Waiting to see how things go with the Mets.
we somehow find him in the visiting dugout for the last couple homestands, it feels like.
So if the trend continues, he will end up on the Seattle Mariners.
And then just transition to the White Sox, and then transition to the Angels.
I think, hey, no Jerry DiPoto, that could happen. It really could. He added 2 more guys yesterday.
Why wouldn't he?
Director of Baseball Operations, General Manager of Baseball Operations, Jerry DiPoto, adding Jacob Hanneman and Daniel Vogelbach, picking them up on waivers. They don't go more than, I think, 36 hours is their longest stretch.
Yeah.
Might be exaggerating, but their longest stretch without making a move this year seems like it's a day and a half. They've had 40 pitchers.
Gosh, yesterday Erasmo Ramirez was the 16th starting pitcher they've had in the rotation.
16 starters, 40 pitchers. So we might see Nori after all.
Yeah.
3-1 to count to Beltran.
I wonder if Jerry DiPoto plays in a fantasy football league where he gets charged for every transaction. Go broke by the end of this thing.
Beltran saw a lot of pitches in his first at bat. He's now got a hitter's count at 3-1. And he takes a tough pitch on the corner. It's 3-2. Well, it's not been a classic offensive outburst without a hit through 3 2/3 innings. Yet here we are at 80 pitches.
Yeah, it's been a grind, that is for sure. It'd be interesting to see what Miranda does right here with McCann on deck, left-handed hitter. Fastball away.
No, Marwin will be off and running. A ball in the gap could score a run. Underneath this one, popped up. Shortstop Segura backs up. Puts it away for the final out. Astros still don't have a hit, but Miranda's had to throw over 80 pitches. Mariners, we head to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Justin Verlander with a 1-0 lead, and Scott said we're excited tonight with Justin Verlander on the mound. Lumber, your Twitter, my Twitter, I'm sure Julia's Twitter, it is going crazy. This is our I think our most popular Twitter Tuesday.
Yes, and it's Astros After Dark, so why not?
Justin Verlander's Houston Astros debut has a lot of people on social media as Kyle Seager takes one down and in for ball one. Verlander allowed a couple of hits in the last inning. He's allowed 3 in the game. He's also walked a batter. Mariners have had 2 reach as far as second base. Called strike. Seager popped up to the catcher, Brian McCann, his first time up on a nifty 540 spin by McCann.
Showing off in front of the new guy.
That's what I was thinking. How about Julia saying I'm sure it was on the up and up, but how does Justin Verlander get he's basically the last guy into the fantasy football league because he just got acquired, and then he ends up with a first pick. Here you go.
Sucking up to the new guy.
1-2 the count to Seager. I'm sure it was legit, but that seems a little fishy.
Everybody wants to know who the pick is now.
It was legit. The day he showed up, so that was Saturday, they had discussed the league and how this was all going to go down, and then they drew cards, and he drew the ace of spades. So
wow.
He got the #1 pick.
He's the ace.
Verlander drew the ace.
How about that?
2-2 pitch.
I thought that's what Jeff Luhnow used to get him to agree to come over here is, hey, we'll give you the #1 pick.
That should have been part of it.
You get the #1 pick in the fantasy football draft if you agree to this deal. You're in.
Did you want to know who the pick was?
Yeah. Who was it? You got all kinds of information.
It was David Johnson.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's who we went with.
Seems to be.
But I'm also told that Alex Bregman has the best team by Alex Bregman. That's the other piece of information I have from the draft.
Sounds like something Alex would say.
That is a shocker.
But the cool part about the draft, they held it last night at the hotel while we're talking about this, and they went vintage NFL jerseys. There's a place here in town Will Harris he found somehow, and so Will Harris wearing the Archie Manning Saints. We have the Deion Sanders Falcons for Josh Reddick. There were some great jerseys in there.
That's a lot of fun. Smart move, too.
Love that. Of course, Bregman thought his team was the best.
Yeah.
That is so Alex. I love it. Yeah,
I was just giving you all the information that I was given.
I had the best draft. Other guys had good drafts. I had the best draft.
I honestly didn't believe that Verlander had the first pick. I had to confirm with several different people to make sure.
You went to a lot of sources. This ball's high and deep to right field. Springer giving it a look, but this ball is gone. Home run, Kyle Seager, second in as many games, and we're tied at 1.
Kyle Seager, back-to-back games with the home run. Hit one yesterday. Here gets a hanging slider up in the zone. Just kind of hoping that he hit it too high. Sometimes you hit it plenty high enough, it has plenty of time to travel. It was only 99 miles an hour off the bat. 42-degree launch angle. Enough to carry out at Safeco Park. Estimated 366.
So the first run allowed by Verlander is a solo home run, Seager's 21st home run of the season. Now he faces Mitch Haniger. One and one the count. Haniger struck out his first time up. Justin's 4th hit allowed. Mentioned the numbers have been better for Justin as the season has gone along. Last 11 starts outstanding. He has allowed a few more home runs lately. 3 home runs allowed in April, 6 in May, 6 combined in June and July, and then 8 in August. Out back, it's 2-2. Despite those 8 home runs, he has done a great job limiting the damage in the month of August. Only 1 start where he allowed more than 2 runs. .42 innings in 6 starts last month. That's an average of 7 innings per start. And he has gone at least 7 in 6 of his last 9. Pitch count up a little bit tonight. He's at 68 right now as we work in the bottom half of the 4th. Just missed. McCann and Verlander wanted that pitch, and the count's full.
Similar to the one we saw against Gene Segura. Good downward plane.
Not sure how you take that with 2 strikes, but Haniger got away with it. 3-2 pitch into left center field. Maben is there, and there's 1 out.
Last 11 starts for Justin Verlander in that electric orange uni over the Players Weekend. 5-3. The ERA has been great, 2.31, holding the opponents to a .190 batting average, getting stronger. One of those guys that has been notorious for a little bit of a slow start and continuing to get strength throughout the course of the season. Todd referencing the 200+ inning seasons he has under his belt. Good time to pick a man up like this.
Definitely a workhorse, definitely a guy who trends better as the season goes along, and that's the case again this year. First 17 starts, ERA close to 5, last 11. He and Corey Kluber the best in the American League. 2.31 ERA, 190 opponent's batting average during those 11 starts. It all began with a start in Cleveland on July 8th. Started this string of 11 in a row where he has been really good. Breaking ball, swing and a miss as Ben Gamel goes down. First strikeout since the 2nd inning for Justin, his 4th of the game.
Can throw that curveball pretty hard. Almost looks like he spikes it too as he brings that breaking ball in. 82 miles an hour.
Now he'll face Mike Zunino. Zunino takes a call strike. Mariners catcher struck out looking his first time up. That line of demarcation, last 11 starts for Verlander, also the time where when facing top 10 offenses in OPS, by the way, all the top 8 teams in OPS are currently playoff teams, so possibly a team that Verlander could see. And facing those top 10 offenses since July 8th in those 5 starts, he's 4-1 with a 1.34. Mariners not one of those top 10 offenses. Cleveland and others in that string he could see down the stretch, and he has done the best against the best in his last 11 starts. Shut out the Astros on the final day of July. Swing and a miss. Verlander gets a strikeout for Zunino for strikeout number 5.
funds for Hurricane Harvey relief. Visit youcaring.com/AstrosHarvey to donate today, or visit Astros.com for a link to our giving site.
Thank all of those who have contributed to youcaring.com/AstrosHarvey. Saw that those proceeds continue to jump up, and hope we will continue to get as much generosity as you feel comfortable with to support the great cause and recovery effort in the city of Houston. We head to the 5th inning. Astros and Mariners tied at 1. Unusual game in that both pitchers have thrown a lot of pitches through 4 innings. Verlander averaging about 19 pitches per inning. Miranda about 20 pitches per inning. Justin averages 19. He could probably still go another 2 if Miranda throws 20 pitches this inning. This will probably be his last inning, as he's already at 82 pitches, facing Brian McCann, Cameron Maybin, and George Springer. McCann struck out his first time up. Takes a pitch on the inside corner. It's 0-2. Miranda has not allowed a hit. He has thrown 83 pitches, 47 for strikes, 36 balls. One and 2 the count. And really not a lot of hard contact either. Not many line drives at people, not many hard hit ground balls. Alex Bregman missed a grand slam or a RBI double just by a few feet. Miranda gets a lot of soft contact, but his FIP is a lot higher than the major league average. McCann reaches out, and Cano is there for out number 1. Fielding independent pitching with those 35 home runs, that FIP number way up there. But tonight he's been good. Wild, but good when he's been in the strike zone.
Effectively wild. Missing the zone quite a bit, but also missing barrels.
Here's Cameron Maybin. Maybin part of that trio of players that walked in the 3rd inning. Beltran followed by Maybin, followed by Springer with a McCann strikeout in the midst. Low to the bases, and Alex Bregman hit a sac fly for the Astros' only run. Cameron tried to hold up. He goes around, and Miranda, throwing more strikes this inning, has gotten ahead of McCann 0-2, and now Maybin 0-2.
Ooh. Good take. So a couple of pitches called earlier in the game down in that region.
Called 3rd strike, outside corner. That is the 5th strikeout for Miranda. 2 outs in the 5th.
Backdoor slider, or to go around? No, caught that edge. Pretty good pitch. Miranda's secondary pitches tonight have been great. And that's not what the Astros have been anticipating. They have ripped that fastball in the first 4 starts previous to this one.
Not unusual for Miranda to have a high pitch count, and he doesn't usually go very deep into games. In fact, his last 5 starts, he has gone 5 innings twice, and that's the most he's pitched in his last 5 starts. He's at 4 2/3 here with a pitch count in the low 90s, and it's 1-1 to Springer. George has grounded out and walked. Pretty sure Miranda knows the deal with Springer when they face off against each other. George has hit 4 home runs. The only hits he has against Miranda have all left the park. 3-1. Second straight at bat. Springer's been ahead of the count.
Good time to hit, maybe get a fastball, but we have seen Miranda go to the off speed. Interesting though, in the outfield, can't really tell from that angle, but the center fielder's playing to the right. That left center field gap is wide open.
Up high, ball 4. Miranda walks his 5th batter of the game and walks Springer for the 2nd time. George not seeing many strikes his last 2 at bats, and now Miranda will face Alex Bregman. 5 walks, no hits allowed. He also has 5 strikeouts. Bregman driving in the run with a sacrifice fly. Alex drove in 2 yesterday.
Not one of the better moves you're going to see from a left-handed pitcher, but still an advantage for Miranda being left-handed and trying to keep that runner close at first base in case Springer thinks about creating some movement in that infield, open up a hole maybe to get that knock. That's a better move with just the step off.
Up the middle, past the pitcher Miranda, but right there is Robinson Cano, and he steps on the bag for the final out. Still a 1-1 game. They say he touched it. AT&T Sportsnet is presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Whataburger. The burger you've been craving is back at Whataburger. The sweet and spicy bacon burger, now an all-time favorite. Opie Otterstadt with that painting of Justin Verlander. Right there, brushed in over his left shoulder, is Nolan Ryan, the Ryan Express. Somebody that Justin Verlander idolized as a young pitcher. It's 1-0 to Heredia. Heredia in the top of the order, Gene Segura and Yonder Alonso. Verlander has allowed 4 hits, the only run coming on a solo home run by Kyle Seager to lead off the 4th inning. He has struck out 5, including the last 2 in the 4th. The trend of Verlander getting better as the season goes along, which we've chronicled, also mirrors the way he is during a game. He can get better as the game goes deeper. Not many pitchers find their velocity deep in the game, but there have been times when Verlander has thrown his fastest fastballs in his final inning of a start. That sounds like a guy who really gets better not only as the game goes along, but as the season goes along. It's 2014, that August ERA, a skinny 2.5. Not too shabby in September, October, sub-3. Ahead of Heredia, 1-2. Chops the breaking ball foul. Well, 5 innings in, people at home are starting to get used to Justin Verlander in an Astros uniform. Get used to it.
Yes.
Because he will be around, based on his track history, getting the ball every 5 days for the next 2 years and a month. And then beyond that, this season in October and November, maybe. If the World Series goes Game 7 this year, baseball will play in November.
It's always good to have those November numbers.
Next year, we're going to start to get March numbers for a lot of guys because the season's going to begin earlier as they build in more off days into the schedule for next year and seasons to come. So you could pitch in November in theory and be back on the mound on opening day in March. 2-2, called third strike. Heredia looked it all the way into the glove, and Ben May said it caught the corner. Verlander has struck out 3 in a row, has 6 in the game.
Turbo slider on the outside edge. Brian McCann bringing it back a little bit. Ben May hasn't been calling many down in the zone, but starts to expand a little bit off that outside edge. 6 punch outs in this game today for Justin Verlander. That makes 7 of his last 10 starts of at least 6 punch outs.
His strikeout totals have really been up lately. 9-8, 9-8 his last 4. 50 in his 6 starts in August.
Something to toot your horn about.
The other thing that A.J. Hinch has to look forward to is the innings pitched out of this guy. We mentioned how deep he goes into games. He's currently on a streak that Brad Ausmus watched. He's been on the mound for 6 innings or more for 9 straight. And today AJ has seen his pitch count rise a little bit early. No swing, says Mark Wegner. So right now AJ is looking at 85 pitches, 1 out into the 5th inning. And he knows Justin can go 110 easily. He doesn't have a lot of pitchers in his rotation he can say that about. It's a different animal on the mound now. Dallas is a guy he'll let go deep into games, but for the most part, 110 is uncharted territory for most of the other starters.
Well, Justin saw a microcosm of the Astros season last night in the sense they score a ton of runs after the 7th, so hopefully he understands if he wants to get some run support, he has to pitch into the 7th.
Right.
These guys have a tendency to linger around a little bit and all of a sudden explode in those 7, 8, 9 innings.
Ball to right field. Springer is there. Out number 2. We showed you the painting at the beginning of the inning. Nolan Ryan, somebody that Justin Verlander looked up to, and Ryan Express and Justin Verlander, 380 starts into their careers. Put together some similar seasons or similar careers so far. You know, Nolan obviously extended his career a little longer than most.
Had that 1 no-hitter with the Astros to go along with 106 wins at 3.13 ERA. You think that would equal a couple more wins, but Astros had a tough time scoring runs for Nolan Ryan.
A lot of 3-2, 2-1 games in that Astrodome. Tonight, 1-1.
Speaking of similarities.
Told you about 380 starts in. Power righties, Verlander and Ryan. More strikeouts for Nolan. He also walked more. A little bit younger to get to 380 career starts than Justin Verlander. And Justin with that mark of almost 70 games over 500. Verlander is through 5 innings on a 2-0 ground ball to Carlos Correa in the shift. And a 1-2-3 inning for Justin, the first as an Astro. Share the proceeds of every Share to Care raffle for the remainder of the season to the American Red Cross and their Houston relief efforts for hurricane victims. You can also go to youcaring.com/AstrosHarvey to donate to the cause. We head to the 6th inning. Interesting situation brewing for Scott Service, Mel Stoudemire, and the Seattle Mariners. They have a pitcher on the mound, 28-year-old left-hander from Cuba, Ariel Miranda, who is not allowed to hit. He's also thrown 96 pitches in 5 innings. Only once has Service allowed him to throw more than 100 pitches in a start this year, and that was 105 in a complete game against the Tampa Bay Rays on June 4th. So you know he can't get to the finish line with 96 pitches. How far will they let him go? He'll face Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, and Yuli Gurriel.
I'd like one of the next 3 guys to knock him out.
Ground ball towards short. Segura to his left on 1 pitch. Altuve retired, and Jose goes 0 for 3. And out number 1 in the 6th.
Well, that's definitely going to help Miranda's case.
The other 3 times he has reached triple figures in pitches. He went 7 innings in a start against the White Sox on May 19th. Also threw 100 against the Blue Jays the start before in 5 innings. And his first time he got to 100 was against the Angels on May 4th. Here's Carlos Correa. Correa flied out and also tapped one in front of the plate that Mike Zunino made a nice play on. 5 walks, 5 strikeouts for Miranda. And it's a 1-1 count.
Nice
wow.
play.
Pick up the stool in one hand, lean on the railing, and make the catch.
Nice play, Mindy. Look at the size of that glove.
That was all around effort, dexterity, balance, all the above.
You could catch the moon in that thing.
1-2 the count. She had to pick up her chair.
Chair is in one hand, on the wall, and makes the grab.
Come on.
She's just showing off.
That's the best play of the night so far.
And her name started with a T, and I said it was Mindy.
101 pitches in as Correa fouls one back.
Had a better chance of catching that ball than I did of getting her name right.
Bullpen action continues for the Mariners. Now it's double barrel action. Ryan Garten's been throwing for the last 3 innings. Actually started to throw in the 3rd. So the last 4 innings. One hand, bare hand. Miranda right back to the mound, retires Correa on the soft comebacker. Out number 2.
Things are going good for Ariel Miranda. Going all Omar Vizquel on us.
Said it last inning, it's not like the Astros have had a ton of hard contact. It's been atom balls. Not really any line drives at anybody. Yuli Gurriel has flied to right and struck out. Takes the pitch up and away. It's 1-0. 3 walks and a sac fly. That's how the Astros have their run. Back in the 3rd inning. Yuli with a count of 3-0. Next pitch will be 106. That'll be a new season high for Ariel Miranda. Gets a strike on the corner. And ball 4. Not only a season high, a career high number of pitches thrown at the major league level. They're going to keep him out there since he is not allowed to hit. That is now 6 walks issued, and Gurriel a 2-out base runner. Marwin Gonzalez has struck out and walked.
Still qualify for a quality start when you walk this many guys?
You do. It's an unusual quality.
Yeah. It's a good way of putting it.
My guess that if he gets through Marwin, his night has to be over.
I would imagine that's a ton of pitches because, like you said, he's not accustomed to going this deep in ball games.
He's already at his career high in pitch count. You doubt he's going to start an inning right around 110 or more. At the same time, the Astros don't have a hit against him. And he's ahead of Marwin 0-2.
I can only say that I think that he's just got these guys completely befuddled. We have not seen any comfortable. That was not an awful fastball to hit, but it just tells me that Marwin Gonzalez and some of these other Astro hitters may not be sitting on any particular pitch. They're guessing, and they're guessing wrong.
Fouls one back. Miranda has been really mixing it up well, sneaking in the fastball. Usually it's a high percentage of fastballs. Today we've seen that secondary stuff come to the forefront. Miranda was with the Orioles last season, was involved in the Wade Miley deal, coming to Seattle in that trade at the deadline, and pitched one game with the Orioles before joining the Mariners in August and September of last year. 0-2 pitch, line drive to left. Gamble comes on, makes the play. Marwin with probably the hardest hit ball of the evening against Miranda. And we are through 5.5. It's a 1-1 game. Justin Verlander back for more in the bottom half of the 6th. And Mariners 1-1, and Verlander will face the middle of the Mariners lineup: Robinson Cano, Nelson Cruz, and Kyle Seager. Fiance Kate Upton with the Astros hat in attendance at Safeco Field. Cano 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout. He saw 11 pitches before Verlander struck him out in the first inning. Verlander starts inning 6 with a total of 90 pitches through 5 as Cano fouls one back. Astros 1 run on no hits. Mariners 1 run on 4 hits. Verlander had 0-2. Justin's night started out with a walk in the first inning, and he got 2 outs in the second, allowing a double to Ben Gamble, but picked up a couple of strikeouts in the second. 2 2-out hits allowed in the third. The only run scoring on a solo home run by Kyle Seager to start the fourth. And since then, Verlander has sent down 6 straight. Ahead of Cano 0-2. Slicing the other way. Marwin gives it a look, but no room. Ball hits Verlander. He'll go after it, and Cano is on base. That was a line drive right off the Astros right-hander Justin Verlander. Jeremiah Randall, the head athletic trainer, and A.J. Hinch going out to look at him.
Got that pitching hand in the way. Kind of ricocheted off that right forearm, didn't it? Maybe the back of the hand. Hopefully nothing serious. This is not what you want to see in Verlander's debut. Man, oh man. 103.5 miles an hour off the bat. Right into your newly acquired ace. Tough kid. Because he's not a kid anymore, but he's a tough pitcher in Justin Verlander.
Said, I only need one pitch. I'm ready.
Yeah, as soon as he let it go, he said, let's go.
So a line drive off of Verlander results in a hit for Robinson Cano. Fortunately, Verlander okay, and he'll face Nelson Cruz.
And that's something we kind of found out about Justin Verlander. We knew it already that he's a competitive guy. He wants to go out there and challenge every hitter he faces. And that interview we had with Julia where he explained, I don't pitch around guys. If you want to pitch around guys, find somebody else to go out there. He goes, if I have the baseball in my hand and there's somebody standing in that box, I'm coming after him.
Here's a line drive past Altuve into right field. Back-to-back base hits, Cano and Nelson Cruz. And the Mariners have the first two runners on in the 6th inning.
And a guy coming up in Seager who's done damage in this series early. Simple inside out, fastball in.
First time since Verlander's been on the mound that the Astros will get the bullpen working. Joe Musgrove begins to loosen up. Verlander with 2 on and nobody out, facing a guy who hit a home run his last time up, Kyle Seager. Seager has had success against Verlander in his career. Now 8 for 21 with 3 home runs with that solo shot in the 4th. Verlander's 23rd start against these Mariners. First 18, he had a win or a loss in every single start. 18 starts, 18 decisions. Since then, 4 no decisions. Ground ball towards first. Gurriel to second for 1. The return throw by Correa. In time, double play. Gurriel, Correa, and Verlander covering. And a big double play turned by the Astros.
Standard 3-6-1 on the double play. Good play by Yuli getting back in the field. Good job of making sure fielding this ground ball properly. After the catch, he moves his feet to give a good feed to Correa. And a lot of credit to Justin Verlander, the veteran, sprinting over to first base to cover. Put himself in good position to get a good target for Carlos Correa, and he hits it. That was nice.
That was unleashed by Correa. Now here's Mitch Haniger. Runner on third, 2 outs. 1-1 game. Pitch outside, 1-0. Haniger has struck out and flied to center.
98 on that last fastball.
Like we said, sometimes that velocity ramps up as the game goes along. We've seen mostly 96s and 97s.
It's not the pitch count, that's the velocity. 98 miles an hour. Justin understands where he's at in this ball game, and he needs us out right here. Also might be a little bit of a statement saying thanks for picking me up behind me, boys.
Foul ball. 1-2.
Congrats.
After
you held your ground.
Yesterday was coming at us. That one we had about 5-10 feet below.
Oh, you judged that one a little bit better.
I had a better read on that one. So now Verlander in his first start as an Astro with 2 outs and a 1-2 count on Mitch Haniger, trying to keep this game tied at 1. Just missed the corner, 2-2.
got the call earlier in the game on a similar pitch against Guillermo Heredia. This one similar, just a little bit further out.
Called third strike, and Justin pounds his fist into his glove.
99 miles an hour on the heater from the newest Astro at the knees to get out of that inning. Think he's excited? Piece here in Seattle between the Mariners and the Astros. The Astros and Majestic have developed a Houston Strong t-shirt with the net proceeds benefiting the American Red Cross and the Houston relief efforts. These shirts are currently available at the team store in the stadium or available online at MLBshop.com.
Dallas Keuchel, part of the dugout, as Justin Verlander in his first Astros start has gone 6 innings of 6-hit 1-run baseball. Fortunately, Justin saw the offense the last few games, so he knows that the offense is better than what they've shown tonight. He does not have a hit of support so far in his 6 innings of work.
What is it about left-handed pitching in the Houston Astros? I cannot explain it. They have had issues and don't have a winning record against them.
Well, they went from one lefty to another. Ariel Miranda will leave this game after 6 innings. Did not allow a hit, but his pitch count was elevated to the highest total of the year, 112 pitches. So he is out, and James Pazos is in, facing Carlos Beltran. Beltran lost one into shallow left. Gamble and Segura converge. It's the outfielder Gamble for out number 1.
Another left-hander come in, and you can see why. Service is bringing in the lefty. The record is 17-21. Although the batting average is relatively good, it's higher on-base percentage against lefties than righties. And this OPS, 831 in comparison to 835. So not entirely sure what's going on, other than maybe the possibility that they're just not pushing runners across once they get on. That maybe the risk number is a little bit low, but considering the right-handed bats that are in this Houston Astros lineup, you would figure those numbers would translate into more runs and wins.
Very unusual to have that mix of the record being so different, such a disparate difference between right and left, despite the fact that their numbers are just about the same. And here's another lefty in Pazos. The one thing you could point to, and it's just if you're reaching for reasons, I mean, both Marwin and Carlos have hit better as lefty hitters, but with all those righties in the Astros lineup, you're right, it doesn't make much sense.
Pazos throws hard. averaging 95.8 miles an hour on that fastball. He is just a fastball slider guy. Comes at you with the heat. But you know, Service is trying to keep that trend of holding the Astros down with left-handed pitching.
You know, the other factor with those lefties numbers is that Josh Reddick, who hadn't hit well against lefties all year, not in the lineup tonight, but all of a sudden he's having a career year against lefties. Pitch inside, a 4-pitch walk to McCann. That is now 7 walks issued by Seattle pitching tonight, as McCann walks for the first time.
Well, that's one way not to give up hits, is in hitters counts. Just don't give in, just walk them.
And we will see our 3rd pitcher of the night in a game in which the Astros do not have a hit. Scott Service used the lefty Pazos to turn Beltran around and also pitch to McCann. Now with Cameron Maybin, George Springer, Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, and Carlos Correa. Yuli Gurriel, 6 straight righties. On comes a righty. More on him in a moment. Verlander and Colin McHugh having a little discussion on the top rail of the dugout. Astros with a runner on first base and 1 out. Brian McCann walked. He has been lifted for a pinch runner. Derek Fisher comes on to run for McCann. So Fisher offers a little more speed as the new pitcher for the Seattle Mariners is Emilio Pagan.
Well, Derek Fisher is the winning run out there at first base with McCann getting on base, but Emilio Pagan in that 24th appearance, he has pitched 41 innings, keeping opponents at that .216 average. 93.5 miles an hour on the fastball, changeup, and a slider.
Heavy dosage of fastballs. He will throw almost exclusively fastballs to lefty and mix in that slider to righties. Cameron Maybin, there goes Fisher, first pitch, and Maybin fouls one back. Fisher had a pretty good jump.
He did, and we've heard A.J. Hinch talking about speed, and some of these guys that he does have, the Jake Marisniks, Cameron Maybin coming over, and now Derek Fisher. These are guys that have the ability at first base to run themselves into scoring position.
Maybin walked and struck out against Ariel Miranda. Miranda for 6 innings. Pazos for a third of an inning, and now Pagan. It has been an unusual night, to say the least, for the Astros offense. 3 walks in the third and a sac fly to score a run. 7 walks overall in this game. Everybody has a walk except for the 2, 3, 4 hitters in the lineup. Bregman, Altuve, and Correa. Bregman does have a sacrifice fly.
Have we mentioned that Max Stassi's available?
We forgot about that.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yes,
that's why you can pinch run for Brian McCann.
You now have 3 healthy catchers. Stassi, Juan Centeno, and Brian McCann. Stassi became eligible during the game last night, coming off the 10-day DL. Foul back by Maben. It's 0-2.
Just missed it. Got himself a good pitch to hit. You can see he's upset with himself. It is the 7th inning. Usually those balls get squared up in the 7th inning.
We did not see bullpen action early in the inning. Verlander looked like he was pretty relaxed, so we weren't sure if that was a sign that he might be out of the game. And now we are seeing bullpen action. Joe Musgrove heating up again. So based on that, he may be done after 103 pitches. Either way, Justin continued his streak of going at least 6 innings. That would be 10 straight starts of going at least 6 innings. He had to battle through some high pitch counts early in the game and has allowed 1 run on 6 hits. Maben with a count of 1-2.
Did a good job of showing composure. Justin Verlander did, just in the sense it's probably not the standard strike zone he's used to working with. It was a little bit tighter than normal, I feel like. But instead of getting upset and letting things get out of control, he just pitched better.
Broken bat. The barrel goes into the outfield. The ball goes behind the plate.
Yeah, isn't it supposed to be the other way around with the baseball going into the outfield? That was a saw job. That's getting in the kitchen.
Nobody knew where the ball was initially. Maben certainly didn't know where it was.
Yeah, meanwhile on our Mattress Firm Supermo, you see the exit velocity of a barrel going into the left field. Wow.
Pagan got in there on camera, and count stays 1-2. Fisher tried to steal on the first pitch, and since then Pagan's been very aware of him at first. Outside, good take by Maben. It's 2-2.
Gutsy take on that slider.
Pagan 70% fastballs, 30% sliders to right-hand hitters. Now it's 3-2. Maben has had a look at some pitches here from Pagan. They sent Fisher on the first pitch. Think they'll send him on 3-2?
Yes.
Astros really haven't had many scoring opportunities.
And I think they're just going to try and force the issue. Fisher can run well, even with the. I just don't feel that even if Cameron Maben swings through a pitch or it's a called third strike, I feel that Derek Fisher still has the ability to steal that base. But again, you know, Cam Maben it's not his first rodeo. He's been around for a while. He understands situations. He understands the importance of this AB in this ball game. And like you said, he saw a lot of pitches. That goes to, I feel that goes to the hitter advantage.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Maben had a sac bunt in yesterday's game, his first of the year, and that turned out to be a big play. The Astros would score 4 in that inning. Fisher stays this time, and Cameron fouls it back. Fisher ran on the 3-2 pitch the previous pitch, held his ground that time, and now Rich Dower has a word for the young outfielder. Possibly missed a sign there.
A high possibility. First base coaches will have a hot word that they'll fire over there to let you know if you should be going or not, in case you missed the sign. It'll be a color sometimes, it may be a number. But there's always a situation where if you're a base runner at first base and you do miss the signs, it's the job of that first base coach, Rich Dower in this case, to come over and relay it some other way. There's got to be a couple of redundant signs in place to be able to give you the right signals so that you don't miss the sign.
Fisher on the move. Maben gets into one deep to left field, all the way back, gone. Cameron Maben, a 2-run home run, and the Astros lead this game 3-1 on their first hit of the ball game.
Big hit. How about big bomb Cam right there? The 2 additions to the Astros here late, working out pretty good.
The former Tiger teammates Cameron Maben and Justin Verlander getting it done tonight. Maben with his 2nd home run as an Astro. They have both been big ones. A 3-run shot at Minute Maid Park.
Yeah, I'd say they fit right in.
Here's George Springer. Called strike. He saw a lot of pitches in the AB. He had Fisher on the move. He got a pitch he could handle, and he drilled it into the Mariners bullpen and left. Gives his buddy Justin Verlander a 3-1 lead. 1-1 now on George Springer. 1 hit and 3 runs for the Astros tonight.
That was awesome.
I know he went through the home run line back at Minute Maid Park, but I don't know if it included the splash like a flume ride. I think they kind of caught him by surprise a couple of times. You got 2 faces full of water going through that home run line this time around.
Almost put an eye out.
You're the new guy. You really don't know what to expect. Thanks, guys. 1-2 the count to George. Outside is 2-2. Cameron Maben with the first hit of the game for the Astros. 1 out into the 7th inning.
Good teams find ways to win. They may not be pretty, but Justin Verlander keeping it as close as he possibly could until the Astros woke up.
Fly ball to right. Haniger's there. Out number 2.
Talked about the number of pitches usually benefits that hitter, and that was a fastball running right back into Cameron Maben, and he got the head out in a hurry. That was a great view of the hands getting loaded, getting back. He knew it was gone. How about those guys in the bench? They knew it off the bat.
Correa going over the top step. That's one way to welcome yourself to the team. He only has 3 hits for the Astros, but they've all been big hits.
Well, you could say that in his ball game. If you're not going to get a lot of hits, you might as well make the one you do count.
Cam has 3 hits and 6 runs batted in his short time with the Houston Astros. RBI single, 3-run home run, and 2-run home run. Here's Alex Bregman down to the count 0-2.
Almost forgot. That was 101 miles an hour off the bat. Estimated 388 feet. You good with that? You were brawling with me yesterday over Yuli's 400-foot shot.
No, I'm good
you were
with
upset.
that. I'm good with that, although was it 12 feet from where it left the wall to where it landed? I guess so. Seemed like it was deep in the bullpen, but I'll go with it.
I thought it hit the back wall of that Mariner bullpen.
I did too, which is more than 12 feet from the 376 sign.
So you are arguing.
Yeah. I like the moment more.
Me too. That was a big one.
This one I won't argue as much. Here's a ball in the center field. Back there is Heredia. Damage done. 2-run home run, Cameron Maybin. 7th inning stretch time at Safeco Field.
Cameron Maybin endearing himself to the Houston Astros and the fans back home. Also, welcome to Astros After Dark, Cam.
And it's time to reveal the results of tonight's Chevy Stroh poll. Thanks for voting today. We asked you, how do you feel about the Justin Verlander trade compared with the Randy Johnson trade in 1998? 64% going with more excited now. Really enjoyed reading all the tweets you sent. And remember to follow us at ATT Sportsnet SW. Several people saying they were a little bit younger, the Randy Johnson trade, so that's why they're more excited now. Looking good so far, guys.
Can we change it to Cameron Maybin?
I know. I've already seen those tweets, too. They're quick.
Well, Plummer kind of brought that up, is that a lot of the Twitterverse are fans that didn't necessarily watch Nolan pitch in his prime.
Yeah, it's a lot of the kids that were kids during that Randy Johnson trade. You know, it's like they remember their parents talking about it.
And now it's Joe Musgrove's turn with a 3-1 lead in the bottom half of the 7th inning.
Joe's done extremely well out of that bullpen, looking to hold things down right here. Pitching so well that he's moved himself into some of these high leverage situations later in ball games. He pitched in Game 2 against the New York Mets back at Minute Maid Park and actually qualified for the win, going 2 innings. Had a couple of punch outs, throwing 37 pitches. It was his 7th win on the season.
First batter he faces is Ben Gamel. It'll be Gamel, Mike Zunino, and Guillermo Heredia. Justin Verlander's final line in his first start as an Astro. 6 innings pitched, 6 hits. He allowed 1 run. It came on the home run by Kyle Seager to lead off the 4th. He struck out 7. And he did not walk a batter. Check that, he walked 1 back in the 1st. On the ground to Altuve. Altuve makes the play. 1 away in the 7th.
Here's that day. It was a big one. Much anticipated debut for the new Astro. He did a great job. Pitched through 6 innings. He threw 103 pitches in the outing. 73 of them were strikeouts. You see the elevated fastball still effective. It has the power curveball and slider. Best part about it for me was watching him pitch late in this ball game, understanding the situation. The last pitch he threw right around 99 miles an hour for the punch out to finish off that 6th inning.
Slowly hit ground ball towards third. On the move. Play is made by Bregman for out number 2. Zunino, the catcher, grounds out, and Musgrove has 2 quick outs. It was almost as if Verlander followed the script we expected.
Yes.
He got better as the game went on. Got into a little bit of a high pitch count, so only lasted 6 innings. And 6 innings, 1-run baseball, you will take that all day, every day. Here's Guillermo Heredia. And then kind of fitting that his buddy Cameron Maybin, who played with the Tigers back in 2007 and also played with the Tigers last season, 2 stints with Detroit, came to the rescue for Justin when the rest of the team didn't have a hit.
Interesting you bring that up. John Morosi tweeted out that Justin Verlander was the #1 pick in 2004. You know who the #1 pick was in 2005? Cameron Maybin.
And now the Astros are enjoying having both of those guys on their roster. Maybin coming over from the Angels during the afternoon of August 31st.
Baseball's crazy,
isn't it? And then Verlander coming over right before the stroke of midnight on the 31st of August. That had some crazy spin on it, but Correa hangs in there and makes the play. So Altuve, Bregman, and Correa all get ground balls in the inning. Strong 9-pitch inning for Musgrove. Inning, Astros have 1 hit, and they've also drawn 7 walks. The 1 hit was a 2-run home run by Cameron Maybin, number 10 pick overall in the first round of the 2005 draft, supporting Justin Verlander, the number 2 pick overall in the 2004 draft, both for the Tigers. And now the new pitcher for the Mariners is Ryan Garten.
Ryan Garten, between Tampa Bay and Seattle, 9 appearances. He's pitched in 12 innings with that .283 opponent batting average. Pitched in the first game here against the Astros, won an inning, didn't give up anything. He is 0-1 on the season. That 1 loss was to these Houston Astros back on April 23rd when he was with Tampa Bay.
He'll face the same part of the lineup he faced in yesterday's game. Altuve, Correa. Yesterday the 5-hitter was Reddick. Today it's Gurriel. Altuve has grounded out a couple of times and flied out to right. Still looking for his first hit in this series. Jose is 0 for 7 in this 3-game set in Seattle. Garten was able to get Altuve on a ground out, Correa on a fly out, and Reddick on a fly out in last night's game. The Mariners had to lift their starter Ariel Miranda with a no-hitter through 6. He had walked 6 and thrown a career-high 112 pitches. Little tapper, Garton on it in a hurry, and he makes the throw in time for out number 1. Altuve 0 for 4. And I'll bring up Carlos Correa. Correa 1 for 11 since coming back from the DL. That 1 hit was in his first official at bat. Walk and a single, RBI single, his first 2 plate appearances. Since then, he does not have a hit. Takes a pitch outside for a ball. Justin Verlander went 6 innings. The Astros scored 2 in the 7th. Putting Verlander in line for a potential victory in his first game as an Astro. Joe Musgrove a strong 1-2-3 7th inning. Two-0 pitch to Correa misses at 3-0. Catches the corner on the inside part of the plate. It's 3-1. Now back in the count, 3-2. There's a line drive into right field. Correa has himself a base hit. Carlos a 1-out base runner in the 8th. Snapped an 0 for 10 with that line drive single to right.
Watch the replay. It almost looks like an excuse me swing, yet it's an absolute rocket into right field. Gives you an idea of how strong Carlos Correa is, able to shoot that ball the other way. It's 101.2 off the bat. Almost looked like a check swing.
Nice to have those skills.
Yeah.
Correa back from the DL as Yuli Gurriel is 0 for 2 with a walk. Astros coming into this game had scored a bunch of runs since the rosters were expanded. They scored 24 in the 3-game series against the Mets and then put up 6 yesterday. Line drive off the bat of Yuli is caught in center field. Tonight, though, just 2 hits and 3 runs against this Mariners pitching staff as we play in the 8th. Astros are still on a pace for 900 runs scored on the season. That has not happened in the major leagues since 2009. We showed you earlier the lack of strikeouts. When you have the combination of runs scored, nobody even close to the Astros run scored total, and the fewest strikeouts, that is a lethal combo. As we approach midnight back in our AT&T Sportsnet studios and also throughout our viewing areas, and 1 o'clock in the morning back on the East Coast, there are 2 games going on involving AL East teams that started at 7 o'clock Eastern time that are still going on. One of them was delayed. Yankees and Baltimore were delayed 2 hours and 14 minutes. They are playing in a game in the 9th inning, 7-6 at Oriole Park in Camden Yards.
Man, I hope they tie it up.
Toronto and Boston are playing in a game at Fenway Park, which is 2-2 in the 18th inning.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
The Red Sox scored 2 in the bottom half of the 9th inning in that game to tie it.
Oof.
And nobody has scored since. Good thing there are expanded rosters.
Gonna use every one of them. It's kind of the same allotted time that Mike Scioscia uses all of 12 of his pitchers in.
New American League record last night. You brought it up.
Congratulations, Mike. Well done.
12 pitchers used. New AL record. The National League record's 13. So he's got something to shoot for. It's almost midnight. A lot of tweets still coming in. Astros after dark. Justin Verlander's Houston debut. Still uncertain if you're looking ahead when Justin may make his Minute Maid Park debut. There's a doubleheader Saturday. There's an off day Monday. Off day Thursday. So a lot can go into that. But as soon as we find out, you will know. It'll be a fun night at the ballpark.
Justin's next start is the first game in Anaheim.
That would make sense. He could, today's Tuesday, so he could pitch Sunday too, but that would be skipping people. So I don't think AJ's named anyone past Saturday unless there's something I missed today. 3-1 pitch. Marwin thought it might have been inside. Instead of 3-2. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, didn't we get we got a list of pitchers up until that second game of the doubleheader with Brad Peacock being the Sunday night or the Saturday night starter. Then it's Sunday. Who's going to be? There we go. That's the guy. We need that guy.
3-2 to Marwin. They're saying Dallas Keuchel now.
Okay.
So there you go. So that makes sense. Keuchel Sunday. The Angels get to welcome in Justin Verlander on Tuesday, Monday and off day. So Justin will get an extended rest, 6 days in between starts. Pitch Tuesday here, pitch Tuesday in Anaheim. Keuchel will get the final game in Oakland. It's kind of convoluted now because there's really no 5-man rotation. It's 6 and almost 7. Ground ball towards the right side. Segura bobbles in the shift but makes the play for the final out. 1 man left on base. On Randy Johnson, 1998 season with the Houston Astros, acquired at the trade deadline, made his Astros debut against the Pirates. Struck out 12 in that debut, went on to a 10-1 mark and a 1.28 ERA in 84 1/3 innings, had a sub-1 whip.
See him staring at the hitter and into the Pirates dugout on a couple of those called strikes. That was great.
Broken bat off the bat of Segura. Joe Musgrove will make the toss. for the out. 4 ground ball outs from Musgrove as he shatters Segura's bat to start the inning. Musgrove behind Dallas Keuchel, who went 6 innings of 1-run baseball. And A.J. Hinch likes Musgrove not only in high leverage situations, he also likes him for multiple innings. Alonso has walked, singled, and grounded out. A game in Baltimore ended on a Manny Machado walk-off home run. 2-run shot in the bottom of the 9th, so their game ended around 1 in the morning. And we welcome everybody back in Houston to the midnight hour. And they're still playing in Boston, where it's past 1 a.m. in the morning. Musgrove with a 1-1 count to Alonso. Check swing, foul ball. Musgrove began his major league career out of the bullpen. He pitched in Toronto, the team where he started his professional career. Went multiple innings in that first start and picked up a lot of strikeouts. In fact, set a rookie record. Then moved to the rotation, stayed there ever since until this season has moved along, and now out of the bullpen he has been lights out as he strikes out Yonder Alonso for out number 2. Tonight, Justin Verlander, 6 innings of 1-run baseball. He can still get the win in this game. Roger Clemens picked up 7 innings of shutout baseball. Rocket struck out 12, or excuse me, Randy Johnson struck out 12 in his debut. Pretty impressive debuts for those notables in Astros history.
Who are you starting in game 1 of your playoff rotation with that? Just throw a dart up there and, and that guy will do it.
You know what's awesome about that is you can go righty lefty.
And dominate.
Who's your 4 starter?
Yeah, go ahead and have that meeting.
Ball's hit hard. First hit allowed by Musgrove. Robbie Cano has himself a 3-hit game. Astros had done a good job against Cano leading into tonight this year. He had been hitting 170 against the Astros this season, but a 3-hit night tonight. That'll bring the tying run to the plate in the form of Nelson Cruz. Cruz 1 for 3 against Verlander, a single in the 6th inning. Biggest moment of the game to me was the first and second no-out situation in the 6th. Kyle Seager, who had already hit a home run against Verlander, was the batter. Justin was ramping up towards 100 pitches on the pitch count, and he was able to get Seager to hit into a double play.
No, that was a huge play.
Cano had singled off of Verlander. Cruz had singled into center field. And then a double play turned on Seager, and Haniger struck out as Verlander ended his night with his 7th strikeout. Now Musgrove ahead of Cruz 0-2. A.J. Hinch knows what he's going to get out of Joe Musgrove. He's going to get a strike thrower. Guy that comes out of the bullpen and is not afraid to pound the zone. And he has also shown an uptick in his velocity since becoming a member of the bullpen, knowing he doesn't have to save those bullets. Head of the count here, 0-2 on Cruz. Cruz fouls one back. To the count. Juan Centeno has been catching ever since Brian McCann was pinch run for in the top half of the 7th inning. Centeno, Stassi, the other active catchers now, in addition to Brian McCann. We should see Evan Gattis shortly join the team. In the air, center field, playable. Cameron Maben moves to his left and puts it away for the final out of the inning. Only fly ball against Joe Musgrove. It's the final out of the 8th. On AT&T Sportsnet is presented by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Safeco Field, the site as we head to the 9th inning. Astros with not a lot of offensive opportunities. Only 2 hits tonight, but the big one, a 2-run home run by Cameron Maben, giving his former teammate Justin Verlander a 3-1 lead. And we head to the 9th inning with a new Seattle pitcher. Ryan Garten pitched a shutout 8th, and now they turn it over to Shea Simmons.
Making his second appearance with these Mariners on the season. He has touched every level, including the big leagues now. Simmons pitched against Oakland in that outing where he went 1 inning. Says he gave up a run.
Well, Carlos Beltran will get to hit left-handed for the first time.
This kid can bring it.
And Beltran swings to the first pitch and sends it deep to center field. Heredia back. He's on the track at the wall, makes the play. Correa sends it a long way for an out.
Thought he might have gotten it. Simmons can bring it. 96, 97 miles an hour. Beltran got good wood on it. Trying to drive it deep in that left center field gap.
Juan Centeno will get his first at bat. Centeno takes a strike at the knees, 0-1. 14,568 on a Tuesday night in Seattle. Appreciate all those tweets today on Twitter Tuesday. A lot of people discussing their reactions when they found out the news that Justin Verlander was heading to Houston to become a part of the Astros rotation. Also, we compared that on our Astros poll to the trade for Randy Johnson. Most said they're more excited now than they were back in '98, and some admitted they don't remember much about the '98 trade of our Twitter followers. Pitch down low, it's 1-2. Ken Giles pitched last night in a 6-2 game, warming up in a 3-1 game tonight. Called third strike. Simmons strikes out Centeno for out number 2 and picks up his first strikeout. Cameron Maybin had the big hit in this game, 2-run home run. Turned a 1-1 tie into a 3-1 Astros lead. Maybin trying to give his buddy Justin Verlander a W in his first start with the Astros. Simmons ahead 0-2. Southeast Missouri State University. Acquired from the Atlanta Braves. Cameron has also drawn a walk and struck out in this game. Giles will face the 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for the Mariners in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Chopped over the mound. Cano is there. Robbie makes the play on Cameron Maybin for the final out. Shea Simmons a 1-2-3 9th, 3-1.
Astros out in front as we head to the bottom of the 9th. Ken Giles looks to close this out tonight. Last night we saw him come in with a 4-run lead for the Astros. AJ saying that he was only going to give a different reliever 1 base runner before he got Ken up anyway. So brought him in to finish that game out. They got the win. Ken Giles with a perfect inning yesterday, striking out the side. And I talked to him after the game, guys. Everything's in sync with him here lately. He feels really comfortable, confident on the mound, and what a great time for things to be good for Ken Giles. And he said there's just a new energy around the clubhouse. He's saying what a lot of the other guys are saying right now. The excitement is starting to build up. He loves getting the ball. Doesn't matter the situation. Has full trust in what AJ, whenever AJ brings him out there. Todd.
Yeah, and he should, Julia. He has been outstanding lately.
No, AJ's got Kenny G on his everyday playlist, especially when the Astros have a lead.
He gets some new defenders behind him, too, or at least one new one, with Josh Reddick moving to left and Marwin Gonzalez moving from left to first base. And Kenny G will face Kyle Seager, Mitch Haniger, and Ben Gamble. Astros with 2 hits in this game. Marwin taking over at first, and there is Josh Reddick making his first appearance in this game in left field. Foul tip, 0-1. Some options for AJ now when he goes to his defense in the outfield. Jake Marisnick's still not 100%. But he's got Maben, Springer, Reddick, Marisnik to choose from. All above average quality defenders. Giles was throwing 100 consistently yesterday. It's 99 there. It's 0-2. Joe Musgrove has turned into a guy not only who is an effective piece of the bullpen, he is becoming one of the main cogs of the back end of the bullpen.
It's been impressive.
2 innings tonight. He got through that middle of the order with Cano and Cruz. He did allow a hit.
And he was just comfortable. He didn't look stressed out at all. He was really enjoying that roll out of the bullpen.
And now Giles on 3 pitches puts away Seager. Ken Giles picks up a strikeout, the first batter he faces, and there's 1 out in the 9th inning.
Yeah, Kenny G doesn't play any soft tunes. He comes at you with the heat and then breaks off a slider when he can.
Astros after dark. Always a good time for Kenny G.
Put the other team to sleep.
1 out. Nobody on. Mitch Haniger, the batter. And paints 99 on the corner. It's 0-1. That the Toronto-Boston game finally ended. The Blue Jays and Red Sox went 19 innings today at Fenway Park.
Oof.
And the record that was set by the Angels yesterday of using 12 pitchers in a game lasted 1 day.
Hundo.
Red Sox used 12 pitchers today. So they tied the record.
In 19 innings.
That's true.
Social wins with 9 innings, 12 pitchers. That's a little excessive.
It was a lot. 3 pitchers didn't get an out. Check swing. 1-2. Giles got ahead of Seager and put him away on 3 pitches. Haniger 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts and a flyout. Called, 3rd strike. Throws him on the slider. At the knees on the corner. Giles is locked in. 2 strikeouts.
The command has been unbelievable for Ken Giles with both the fastball and the slider. That's just not fair. He knew it too. Picked up his luggage and took a walk around the mound right there.
So here's Ben Gamble. Gamble with a count of 0-1.
Okay, we'll cut Scioscia a break. He did it in 11 innings.
Here's a swing and a miss. It's 0-2.
Thanks for pointing that out.
2 strikeouts in the inning, and it's an 0-2 count on Ben Gamble. A.J. Hinch looks very calm as he watches his closer try and finish this game. Justin Verlander for 6. Joe Musgrove for 2. And now Ken Giles trying to close it out in this 3-1 game. And he does! 100 on the corner at the knees. Ball game over. Astros win it 3-1. Justin Verlander in his Astros debut gets the win thanks to his former teammate and current teammate Cameron Maben.
Time now for our player of the game, brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. It's going to be a duo tonight, and it's going to be the 2004 #1 pick in Justin Verlander of the Detroit Tigers and Cameron Maben, the 2005 #1 pick of the Detroit Tigers, paying off big-time dividends early on in their appearances for the Houston Astros. Justin Verlander doing a good job through 6 straight, allowing 6 hits, only 1 earned run, 7 punch-outs, but the big hit backed up by Cameron Maben. Big home run to left field.
Good day for Jeff Luhnow, August 31st, picking up Maben and Verlander.
Yep.
And they win the game today with those two starring 3-1. We will have more, including our post-game show after this.